With us in the broadcast is McLain Gill from Manila. He's a resident fellow at the Manila-based International Development Security Corporation. Hi, Don. Good to have you with us. This has been called the most consequential election in the Philippines in recent history. Marcos Jr. has an early lead according to the unofficial tally of the results. What would a victory for the son of the former dictator mean for the country?
Thank you, Molly, and thank you for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure. And in fact, looking into the numbers, we can definitely say, well, first of all, that the people have spoken. As we can see, the ongoing calculations are quite accurately reflecting the scientific and official surveys conducted pre-election. So this indicates, of course, the functional level of democratic and consistent, transparent processes within the particular system. And of course, the people have made their decisions consciously, and all the resources they need to know about the candidates are all out in the open. And voting a candidate is much more intricate, of course, than a simple black or white case that many have claimed. And looking into the dynamic of social level or the societal level of Philippine politics, the Filipinos have voted based on several factors that encompass really the individual collective beliefs, values, interests, geography, and of course the current trends and the present campaign strategies utilized by the candidates. So like in any other democracy, the choice of the people will be respected, and we will work within this particular choice. And one important thing to highlight is that several events throughout Philippines' political history have indicated the strength of the people, of the Filipino society. And I believe in any democracy, the people-centric approach is, I believe, the most vital. And this vital component, as I've mentioned, of our democracy, which I believe will only strengthen further, is something that we have to take a look of throughout the years to come. And last, one more factor that I'd like to mention towards this particular increase is, of course, President Duterte. President Duterte is well-loved and appreciated by millions of Filipinos, for that matter. If you look into the approval and trust ratings, the most recent, just weeks before he leaves, he has it over 67%. And in fact, he might be the first president of the Philippines to leave with an approval rating of over 50%. So the people are really looking towards someone who would continue or have a certain level of continuation towards President Duterte's policies. And to them, I believe that Mr. Bongbong Marcos seems to have that credibility to continue some of the major policies of President Duterte. And I think this has really factored in, of course, the voting and, of course, the perceptions towards the currently leading candidate, Mr. Bongbong Marcos.
Right, and speaking of which, violence marred polling day. There have been accounts of alarming irregularities as well, malfunctioning voting machines, insufficient numbers of backup machines, complaints that voters have been left off registration rolls and that their ballots have been tampered with. At one polling station, 3 security guards were killed as well. If you can give us a better sense of what polling day looked like.
Well, yes. I mean, if we look into the patterns of Philippine elections throughout the years, we could see that a little bit pre-election and during election, there seems to be a little bit of a fuzz, particularly in terms of, people treat this very seriously. The level of emotion that you will get, the involvement of the emotional level really leads to certain factors such as these disruptions, these hiccups. But I believe that, those irregularities have been addressed. And now we are looking into, and now everyone's sitting tight, looking towards the numbers as they are currently computing. The last number I checked was at 21 million for Mr. Bongbong Marcos and at least 10 million plus for Vice President Leni Robredo. And, everyone is looking into it. And perhaps, it would be interesting to look into how the winning candidate would deal with the challenges and opportunities that President Duterte has left behind in terms of the Philippine status.
McLain Gill, thanks very much for joining us here and sharing your perspectives.
Thank you so much.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.